Hold on for a minute, Jessica, because Darrell Issa, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, is now actually conducting the roll call. I want to see what's going on. Let's go to the committee. They're counting the votes right
votes
now.
Aye, Mr. Amash.
Yes.
Mr. Amash votes aye. Ms. Burkle. Yes. Ms. Burkle votes aye. Dr. Gosar. Aye. Dr. Gosar votes aye. Mr. Labrador. Aye. Mr. Labrador votes aye. Mr. Meehan.
Aye.
Mr. Meehan votes aye. Dr. Desjardins.
Yes.
Dr. Desjardins votes aye. Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Mr. Walsh votes aye. Mr. Gowdy. Mr. Gowdy votes aye. Mr. Ross.
Aye.
Mr. Ross votes aye. Mr. Ginta. Mr. Ginta votes aye. Mr. Farenthold.
Aye.
Mr. Farenthold votes aye. Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly votes aye. Mr. Cummings.
No.
Mr. Cummings votes no. Mr. Towns. Mr. Towns votes no. Mrs. Maloney. Mrs. Maloney votes no. Ms. Norton. Ms. Norton votes no. Mr. Kucinich. Mr. Kucinich votes no. Mr. Tierney.
No.
Mr. Tierney votes no. Mr. Clay.
No.
Mr. Clay votes no. Mr. Lynch.
No.
Mr. Lynch votes no. Mr. Cooper.
No.
Mr. Cooper votes no. Mr. Connolly.
No.
Mr. Connolly votes no. Mr. Quigley.
No.
Mr. Quigley votes no. Mr. Davis.
No.
Mr. Davis votes no. Mr. Braley. No. Mr. Braley votes no. Mr. Welch. Mr. Welch votes no. Mr. Yarmouth. No. Mr. Yarmouth votes no. Mr. Murphy.
No.
Mr. Murphy votes no. Ms. Spear. No. Ms. Spear votes no.
The clerk will report.
23 ayes, 17 noes.
The ayes have it, and a contempt report is reported to the House. Without objection, the staff shall be authorized to make necessary and technical corrections and conforming changes to the report.
Mr. Chairman, I ask for the requisite days to file.
To file your
Yes.
without objection.
All right, so there you have it, a strict party line vote, 23 yeas, 17 noes. The Attorney General, according to this House Oversight Committee roll call, should be held in contempt of the U.S. Congress. Kate Baldwin was watching it up on Capitol Hill. Jessica Yellen's watching it from the White House. First to you, Kate. I take it this is no great surprise, strictly along party lines, that because of the fast and furious documents that the Obama administration is refusing to share with this committee, they are holding the Attorney General in contempt, even though the President of the United States today, in his first time since taking office, has exerted his executive privilege opportunity to explain why he's not sharing those documents. Go ahead and give our viewers your analysis.
And the chairman of the committee, when he began the hearing and having just gotten the letter from the Department of Justice moments before regarding the assertion of executive privilege, the chairman of the committee, Chairman Issa, made very clear that regardless of that assertion, they were moving forward with this contempt vote. That began at 10 o'clock, right just after 10 o'clock this morning, Wolf, and they have been debating almost every member of the committee having their say today. They went through amendments, none of them, nothing significant has changed on this contempt, and 23 yeas, 17 noes. That is strictly along party lines in this committee, Republicans to Democrats. So yes, this is not surprising that with Republicans having the majority on this committee and in the House of Representatives, they are moving forward, but a very significant step. This now moves to a full House vote that we are told we can expect as early as next week. If this would be approved by the full House and the Attorney General of the United States would be held in contempt of Congress, that would be unprecedented. It would be historic to have the whole House vote to hold the Attorney General of the United States in contempt, and that is something we'll be looking towards next week.
Yeah, if it's a strict party line, it's no contest, obviously, since the Republicans have an overwhelming majority in the House of Representatives. Jessica Yellen has been watching this over at the White House. Jessica, I assume that between now and a full floor vote in the House of Representatives, administration officials, Justice Department officials, maybe the President, the Vice President, the Attorney General, they'll try to work out some sort of deal with Darrell Issa and the House Speaker, John Boehner. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I assume they're going to try to prevent the Attorney General of the United States being formally voted, held in contempt of Congress by the full House.
I imagine that they will try to see if they can avoid that kind of a vote. But at the same time, you know that the president's action by invoking executive privilege here does immunize the Attorney General from prosecution. It doesn't end the political implications of what that House vote would mean for the administration. but it does protect the Attorney General from any actual prosecution, and then we would just have a political clash between the House of Representatives and the executive branch, and then you have this political standoff between these two branches. And then the question becomes, is that something that these two bodies want in the middle of an election year that's focused on the economy and that's focused on these larger issues? Another sign of Washington focusing in on itself and the sort of partisan squabbling, if you will, and the gridlock between these two bodies rather than on the larger issues that are affecting regular Americans. A lot of people would say it goes to transparency, it goes to other issues that this White House committed itself to. At the same time, it's also not getting to issues that everyday Americans care most about, which is jobs and the economy, Wolf.
All right, well, that's a dramatic development happening on in this House Oversight Committee. The vote, once again, 23 yeas to hold Eric Holder in contempt of Congress for refusing to provide some documents over that botched Fast and Furious sting operation. There you see Darrell Issa, the committee chairman. He's walking out of the committee room up on Capitol Hill. 17 Democrats voted to block that contempt of Congress citation, but the Republicans have the majority, and along strict party lines, the Republicans got that passed. That's Representative Elijah Cummings. He's the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee. All right, we're going to assess what's going on. Our strategy session is coming up next. We're following the breaking news.